Be like, hello, hello, hello. Got your phone, man.
Youseff, how you feeling, bro?
What's up, my man? How you doing, bro? Living
Not
life out here, huh? I see your ass everywhere now, bro.
fight week, man. How are you feeling?
I feel amazing, man. It's another fight week and another excitement and another awesome fight, another great fight, and yeah, man, I'm just pumped.
I feel like this narrative is going to be asked every single time now that, like, you know, out of the UFC, back in the UFC, but like, really, I think everybody saw the potential and you knew how good you were, but like, to go from being cut from the UFC to the run you're on to a co-main event against a ranked opponent, like, can you explain that?
I don't know if I can, you know? That's like we should write a fucking book about that, man. That's how crazy this is, you know? And to be honest, like, it's so blessing in a grateful way of 11 months ago, I was not even in the UFC. You know what I mean? So to be back and fighting the number 10 and to go out there and, like you said, the co-main event spot and to really go show and all that stuff. And that's why I say all my speeches, alhamdulillah, man, it's a blessing that I can't even tell you about it. You know, I knew how good I am and I know how good I'm capable of and all that stuff, but obviously everything happens for a reason, and I'm just happy where my journey is going, and I can't wait to see what comes ahead.
Talk about the matchup a little bit, man. And I think I saw this yesterday. Like, you're like a minus 400 favorite, like 4-1 over.
Does that mean I'm good? Does that mean the favor good?
It means that you're really. It means that 4-1 people think that you're gonna beat Calvin.
Bro, I don't know this gambling shit. I don't know nothing this betting shit, bro. It's like minus 400. Is that good or bad? Like what? Is that good? Okay, cool. Because John, they said I was like minus 500 or something like that, and I was like, bro, I'm like, okay. I was like, is that good, right? Minus 500. Ah.
Big favorite.
Yeah. What you guys think, though? I like you guys. See, I fuck with you guys. That's what I'm talking about right there. I didn't know that, man. That's crazy. I feel like obviously it's the part of the sport, man. It's the hurt business. You know what I mean? I have nothing but respect for Calvin, man. That's like when I got this fight, I was with David Unama in New York when he fought in New York, and he had an opponent change. And we got there on Tuesday. So as soon as we landed, they were like, "Hey, we found you a new opponent." And then the next day, we were working on the game plan for the new opponent. And I get a call from my manager, and he said, "Hey, February 15th, Calvin Kattar." I say what? I was like, "Hold on, what'd you say?" He said, "Calvin Kattar." I said, "Holy fuck." Like, I had to take a moment. And I was like, bro, like, are we talking about the same guy that I've been watching for the last fucking 4 years of my life? And he said, yeah. I was like, fuck yeah, I'll take it. I was like, yeah, I'll take that. And then, yeah, man, my inner child is like just lost it, bro. Just to fight a legend like that and to go against him. So I'm preparing, like I said, for the best Calvin to ever do. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited.
How do your skill sets kind of match up?
Say that again.
How do your skill sets kind of match up in your eyes?
Oh, amazing, man. Like, you get my little Pikachu ass in there, it's like a little quick guy, but I'm definitely excited to see what he brings, you know what I mean? I feel like his back is on the wall a little bit, you know what I mean? And I'm just grateful for the opportunity that he's allowing to give a guy, unranked guy, the opportunity, you know what I mean? And I feel like, obviously, this is the hurt business. We're in this business to either win or lose, you know what I mean? So, but, yeah, I mean, I feel like I match up really well with him. And I think I bring a different IQ than most of these fighters. I really do believe that, and I'm excited to show it on Saturday night.
How do you get your hand raised Saturday night?
Bro, I've been dreaming about this for fucking weeks and weeks and weeks. I told it to my team. I told it to everybody. I will be the first one to finish Calvin Kattar, and I promise you that. And I know a lot of people like not confident saying that. I can't wait for fucking Saturday night, and oh man, I've been dreaming about it, bro. You just wait. You just wait.
I don't think there's another question to be asked. So good luck.
I appreciate you. Thank you, my man.
I'm not well versed in the Pokemon world, but I'm surprised you chose Pikachu as your spirit animal there. You said you're your little Pikachu ass out there.
Yeah, bro, because that's like, I'm a little high energy guy and shit like that. I feel like most of these fighters come in here and just be like all low and shit. I'm like, bro, this is exciting. This is what I chose to do in life and try to change my goddamn life. So, this is awesome, man. And I get to do it with my people and I get to do it in front of the world. So, hell yeah, man. And Pikachu, yeah. It's just a high energy, you know what I mean? And fucking electricity a little bit, So, bring some electricity into this game a little bit.
There it is. And, this media day comes right on the heels of the Ultimate Fighter media day that we happened.
Bro.
So, here it is, the energy of guys that are trying to get here, guys like yourselves who've been here, left, came back. What's it? I don't know if you saw any of those, but what do you think about when you see these guys that are literally on the doorstep of their journey to get where you are right now?
Bro, I thought some of these fuckers want to fight me. I thought it was a 45, but I found out it was 125 and welterweight, and I was like, all right, cool. I was like, man, I'll calm down, bro. You about to get a fight, But, bro, no, it just reminded me of 11 months ago. I was supposed to be in the Ultimate Fighter for the International One, and I went to the hotel doing all this stuff they doing right now, and everything, and they were like, oh, sorry, you didn't make it the last cut, you're the alternate, and I was like, fuck, and then 23 hours later, I get the call against Billy, so, yeah, it's definitely, like, a journey, you know what I mean? That's like, the biggest thing. I feel like it's an experience that these guys get to experience, and one day, they'll be sitting here and talking to you guys, you know what I mean? And you're gonna have a star in that show that pops out of nowhere, and then he's the new star now, you know what I mean? So, yeah, I feel like it's a great opportunity for these guys, and like you said, like they get to feel it and get to see it at the same time. You know what I mean? So I think that gives them a lot of booster and a lot of motivation. To be honest, if you're not, you're in the wrong sport. But yeah, I 100% agree.
If there's ever a piece of advice that you would give somebody like that looks at yourself as a veteran, what's the one piece that you'd want to tell them or impart to them as they're on their way, or maybe before they're going in the house? What would be your piece of advice to them?
Be you. Don't change you. I feel like a lot of people try to change you because you're in the house, you got these cameras around you and all this stuff. Be you. Don't change you and live the experience, because the experience is the best teacher, I feel like if you just live there just to be there, you're not really going to get nothing out of it, you know what I mean? I don't care if you lose or win. You win the whole goddamn show, but if I can tell you, like, hey, how's the Ultimate Fighter, and you can tell me the whole experience, that means you live the experience, you know what I mean? And that's what we do this for, and that's what we live for. So that's my advice to them is be you and live the experience, man. Have a blast with your experience. Like, you get to fight multiple times in a few months, and you get to live life, man. So, and you get to build your brand, too. So I don't know what your brand is, but you get to build your brand. So have fun with it.
And what I love about when we see you now is like you said, you mentioned the high energy. You're back, you're grateful. You can see it in your face that you're happy to be here. On the opposite side, looking at your opponent, granted one was an injury, but he's coming off some losses. Do you feel that pressure is going to be weighing in on his mind? And can you empathize, have a little empathy of where he's at, that current position? Do you think he will come in fighting a little bit differently because of he might be on the doorstep himself?
Hey, man, I was there. So I've lost 3 in a row, had a draw. I got kicked out. He's still in the UFC. So for me to that's why I said I'm preparing for the best Calvin. I'm preparing for the Calvin that fought Zabit, the Calvin that's was going for the title contention and all that stuff. I don't know if that's going to weigh on him. I feel like he's experienced. I think he's been to that. And to the 3 guys that he lost to, man, holy shit. Those are not just... Yeah. Guys, you'd be like, I feel like any one of them can be a world champion, to be honest. So I'm like, God damn, like, I'm trying to like step up in that category right now. So I'm like, I'm trying to get ready for that category. So just to face that guy, I'm like, all right, man, like this guy had a lot of experiences, you know what I mean? So just to face a guy like that, and I'm just pumped. And I hope he shows up 100% because I don't want the talk of like, oh my God, Yousef is young, this was old, this and that. And I'm like, no, he's still Calvin Kattar. He's still that best top 10 featherweights in the world, and still one of the best featherweights in the world. So, and I'm excited, man. And all his fights too is like, I think he has like 8 bonuses or 7 bonuses. Like, holy fuck! Like, keep moving my fucking head. I'll tell you that.
And then, lastly, for me, your keys to the victory. What needs to happen to make sure you get your arm raised on Saturday?
Obviously, be me, do me, what I've been doing for the last 7 fights, to be honest. And then I think my IQ, really get my IQ tested in a way to figure out that puzzle, you know what I mean? I feel like every fight, I'm just taking it as a puzzle, you know what I mean? And every puzzle is different, every puzzle is hard, or every puzzle is easy, it doesn't matter, you know what I mean? You don't know the puzzle until you start doing it, and then you'll find out if it's easy or hard, you know what I mean? So that's where I'm going into these fights, and I can't wait to open up that box and see what that puzzle has for me. So I'm pretty excited to test that out, and man, I'm just excited for another dopamine rush and get that win, and man.
Love it. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you, my man. I appreciate you.
Are you going to walk out to the Pokemon theme song?
No Pokemon. Drizzy all day. Up all night, baby. Come on now. I'm changing that. And they'll be like, oh, you like Drizzy or Kendrick Lamar? Nah, Drizzy all the way. Come on, chill out. That's some news for you guys, maybe. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you guys.
Gregory, welcome to Fight Week. How are you feeling?
Man, I'm feel great. Fight week for me is one of the best weeks of the camp. The camp is over. The hard part is over. So now it's the party time, and I'm so excited. I'm so happy, and you know, like I have much thankful for this amazing opportunity. First of all, to fight in the UFC, the big, you know, stage in the world, and now do my first main event. So yeah, excited, man.
Can you talk about, you know, being excited for your first main event? When you got that phone call, what was the thought process that you were going to headline your first show?
Man, for me, I was very happy. My wife and I, like, so what? You're gonna offer me the UFC offer me the Jerry Cannonier for the main event, number 7 in the world, and but in the other side, I look at that and I see like is that my hard work pays off. So I know what I did to get this opportunity is nothing coming from the sky and no. I'm working for this and I'm ready for this. So I prove, I belong in that position, and yeah, it's like it's a mix of feelings, but yes, first of all, I have my greatness, to get in this opportunity, and thank UFC, thank everybody, and for sure you guys is gonna have an amazing show.
Can you talk about the matchup, about Jared Cannonier, and obviously he's on a losing streak, you're on a winning streak, but you've showed that you still respect him as a top contender. What do you think of the matchup?
Yeah, I believe that's the perfect time for this fight. Like you said, man, I respect Jared Cannonier. I respect everything he did. Like he fought for the belt already. But man, I know who I am, and I know where I want to go. So he's gonna be one more step on my journey to be the champion of this division.
On paper, it's a very fun matchup, right? Both of you guys like to come forward. Both of you guys like to throw some heat. But I think in your last fight, you said you've come to you've adapted, and you're not afraid to go back to your wrestling and your jiu-jitsu where you're really good at, right? So is this kind of a fight where we might be able to see your BJJ?
Yeah, you guys gonna see an MMA fight, man. It's not a striking game, so even we have the striking, but it's MMA, and I'll do everything I need to do to get my victory in the best way. So I'll find the opportunity, and we're gonna do it.
Who has the cooler nickname, RoboCop or Killer Gorilla?
RoboCop for sure.
And how do you see your hand getting raised on Saturday? How do you see your hand getting raised on Saturday?
Man, I see my hand raised on Saturday either. I'm gonna knock him out or submission or by points. Doesn't matter. This fight's going my way.
And then just two questions outside of your fight. What were your thoughts on the main event last Saturday between DDP and Sean Strickland?
Was good, good for DDP. He did his job, and before the fight, my thought was like he was still the champion, and he did. But I don't know if he's gonna hold this belt to the end of the year. If he's gonna fight Shimaev, right? It's a good match, but his will is still there, right? He's the champion and he's young, but I don't know if he still have the quality to continue with the belt. If you see the divisions change, so many good names and is coming up. Imavov is right there. We have Kyle Bohala. We have so many good guys coming up. A couple more days I will be there. So yeah, man, the division is starting to get excited, and I'm excited to live in this perfect moment.
We've heard a lot of fighters describe his fight style, but we've never heard what you think of his fight style. Like everyone says, he does everything wrong, but it works, right? So what do you think of DDP's fight style?
Well, why he did everything wrong if that works for him, right? It's not wrong. It's right, right? We train together. He's a very nice guy. He have his talent, man. He's sure that he's the champion. So no doubt, right? And if it works for him, keep going, keep doing, right? And yeah, his style is very worker. Like it's not normal. We're not seeing so many fighters do it, but it works, and he need to get the advantage on that.
And finally, for me, I just want your thoughts on. I think you had talked about it before, but the sparring footage that got leaked from Kevin Lee's sparring. I guess what were your thoughts on that being leaked, and what are your thoughts just on, sparring in general in the gym and everybody talking about it?
Man, I don't like to post training, videos because that means nothing, right? Anything can happen in training, man. We're sparring. Some guys are sparring every day. There we spar like twice a week, and it's like we fight twice a week. In the camp, sometimes some guys like Kevin, he training then every year. He's there helping everybody, helping all his friends, everyone. He's there for everyone. I didn't like it when the guys posted, you know, but the team, the trainers, they take care. They so good and so well, and it's normal, man. It's normal day, you know. Like it can happen with anyone.
Thank you, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you, man.
And I know, you know, part of this fight week, you know, you come in, you do the check-in, but then you get to sign the posters. You know, what did it feel like, and how special was that to actually sign the poster and see your face nice and big on that poster, and what did that mean to you?
That's nice, right? You have your, I can put in my house, and you know but man, like it's so nice, it's so, you know, great to be in the main event, but that's a normal day. That's one more day for me, one more fight, and of course, you know, everything behind all the hype, being the main event, it's so nice, but I can handle it. And it, like you said, man, it's more make me happy, no pressure. So man, my work is doing well. That's why I'm right here, and yeah, that was cool.
And you mentioned before, you know, when you got the call, you were with your wife. You know, this is one of those moments when your main event. This is something big for the whole family because they're along the journey with you as well. You know, when you're gone and when you're training. So how happy are they? And is this something that they're able to kind of, have they been bragging about you to friends and family members about the fact that now you're going to be a main event at a UFC event?
Yeah, man. No, everybody's so excited, man. My wife is Jessica, her name. She's the best part of myself, and share this moment with her it's so great, you know. Like I can see like how happy she was. They offered me the main event, but it also was the same for her. It's like her is gonna fight with me, and yeah, we share with our family. Everyone is so happy and excited for this moment, and that's gonna be just one of many. It's gonna come.
I know you said you're treating it just like a fight. You've done all the work, and it's another fight, but a win here could put you into the middle of the top 10 ranking for the UFC. That's got to be something that you're proud of.
I belong there already. I'm just not there yet, but I will be.
It'd be hard to deny it if you get a win over Jared, right? It'd be hard to deny you getting in the top 10 with a win over Jared.
Yeah, for sure, man. I'm just gonna do my job, and I will keep doing what I do. So it's just time. It's just a time. You know, I just need to get patient and wait my time, and to right there.
Yeah. Has it been frustrating? Because I know you believe that you should be in the top 15, top 10. Is it frustrating at any point that you're not there already, or is it you can't think about those sort of things? You just got to focus on the fight in front of you?
Nah, it's not frustrating, man. If I need to beat it, I will beat everybody, and I will be there for sure. They're going to put my name right there.
I love it. Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you, man. All good? Thank you, guys.
Welcome to Fight Week. How you feeling?
Feeling great, thanks.
How does it feel to be back, ready to throw down on Saturday, man?
Yeah, Vegas beats the snow back home, so happy to be out here and with another fight week, another opportunity to go out and prove why I deserve these opportunities.
Can you talk about the streak that you're currently on, right? And it feels like just a couple of years ago, everybody doubting you again. Everybody says, you know, and last time everybody doubted you, you went out and beat up Giga really bad, right? So is this the same kind of situation? Like, can you talk about the skid you're on right now?
Yeah, definitely not the way we want things going, but, I mean, don't want to beat a dead horse, but I felt like I had won that first fight, and then of the three with Emmett, and then the way things worked out with Allen with the knee, just unfortunate. I feel like that fight didn't even happen. Lost a solid fight to a former champ, and all of a sudden here we are 0-3. Not the way you want to write it up, but it's dangerous kind of focusing too much behind you and too far ahead of you. Right now we got Youseff Zalal on Saturday, tough opponent, 4-fight win streak. He's it's not easy to do in the UFC, so definitely deserving of a top 10, top 15 challenge, and ready to go and give him a fight come Saturday night.
Some ranked fighters don't like to give a chance to unranked fighters to come up,
I don't
right?
give a fuck about that.
Why is that?
Because everybody's tough. I just don't care either way. A fight's a fight. I don't care who it is, who it's against. Give me some time for it. I'll be happy for that. It doesn't always happen, but for this one we got time. I'm not getting any younger, and it's about testing myself and proving to myself that I belong at the top of the division. And these guys are just an opportunity for me to do that. I don't care who it is, kind of where they stack up. I let the manager kind of deal with all that shit. You know what I mean? I just focus on beating the guy in front of me every time.
What do you think of the matchup with Youseff?
Yeah, tough fighter. Like I said, tough to go 4-0 in the UFC. And he's been able to do that. But I feel like that top 15, top 10, top 5, it just gets different levels, And I plan to prove not only to him and everybody else, but to myself that, I still belong at the top of the division.
I don't know if you care about betting odds or anything, but I think
Yeah,
he's like a minus 400 favorite.
Yeah, I don't care. Cool, good for him. Plenty of underdogs, have gotten their hand raised, and plenty of favorites have lost. So we'll see what's up Saturday night.
What do the Patriots have to do next year to?
Fuck, man, you really like kicking me when I'm down. Let's talk about the Celtics at least. Well, where you at on that one? Yeah, exactly. Everyone wants to talk. Everyone wants to beat you up when you're down. I got one for us underdogs on Saturday.
Awesome. Good luck.
Thank you, brother.
Today we had the Ultimate Fighter guys coming in here that are just starting their journey of getting and being part of the UFC. I don't know if you saw any of them, and does that bring back memories of just when you first started dealing with the UFC? And does that kind of put a little bolt of energy back in you, just kind of see guys that are starting their journey, and you've had such a great career with the UFC so far?
Yeah, it's very cool to see. I get reminders quarterly. I run a local event back home, try to do a feeder program in the UFC. We got some former UFC fighters on our cards. Just last weekend, Nick Fury got a big first-round submission at our main event. He is a former UFC fighter as well. He's working his comeback. And that's where I got my start. I fought there 9 times coming up. So every quarter, I get to see these guys that stepped in the same, cage that I stepped in to get here. And I take a lot of pride in just showing them that, fighting in that area, in this cage, you can get to the highest levels of the sport like I've done. And yeah, it's a constant reminder. Even being here in the Palace,
Yep.
I'm fortunate enough to, stay off site this time, have an Airbnb. But I remember having to stay in the fighter hotels. And I constantly remind myself to be grateful for the blessings that I have and the opportunities in front of me. And I don't plan on wasting them. Come Saturday night, I'm going to go out. You're going to see the best Calvin Kattar on Fight Night.
If you had to impart a piece of knowledge to these guys, what would you tell them to do, just dealing with the house, dealing with the pressure, but also just dealing with this opportunity? What would be your bit of advice for them?
Something I learned from Micah, the mental coach here, is just constantly being able to zoom in and zoom out of things going on. It can be overwhelming sometimes. You're too zoomed out and you're looking at everything. But, that's when times you need to zoom in and just focus on the being in the moment, on the details that you're doing. And I think that's very important, but sometimes you can be so wrapped up in the moment that you don't really have a game plan, so you got to zoom out a little bit. Just to kind of being aware of that sometimes, whether or not you're too zoomed in or zoomed out, and trying to find a way to stay in the present moment and really only focusing on what you can control. You can get lost in all the bullshit. Take things fight by fight, day by day. I focus on even just like, I got to eat this next meal in between 1 and 2 o'clock. You know what I mean? And then after that, that's a checkpoint. Me and Rob, we talk often about checkpoints consistently. Right now, I'm not even onto the weight cut yet. That's tomorrow. Today, media day, stay in the moment. You can do that enough, good things will happen, I feel like.
Is that typical for you? Like the weight cut starts on Thursday, like the day before the
Yeah,
weigh-in?
generally. For the most part, we like to get a little bit off then. And if there's anything left on Friday, we'll kind of close out the rest then. But, weight cuts are never easy. But at the same time, I've gotten so much better at it over the years that, it's just another one.
But also it means you're probably more disciplined throughout the year regardless. You don't let yourself get too far away to make the work so hard when it comes to fight week.
And that's part of that process that you're talking about. These guys coming up, it's like how to try to stay within range, you know, as best as you can year round. It's tough, and especially these guys trying to make the jump from a local promotion to the UFC. It's tough. You know, it's going to be a short notice call a lot of times. You know, and to just stay ready, it's very tough when you don't have a date in mind, and you just want to try to be as ready as possible for your opportunities when they come. And I'd say that's probably the hardest jump, is from, you know, the local shows to the big show, and trying to stay ready, not knowing when that date's going to come. But it's exciting too, man, to just kind of relive that whole part.
And well, you get an opportunity on Saturday to get back in the win column. What are your keys to the victory? What do you need to do to make sure you get your hand raised on Saturday?
Yeah, just go out and be myself, you know, not get caught up in all the bullshit, kind of like I'm giving these guys advice, you know. I got to take that own advice myself. You know, just zoom in a little bit, focus on what I got to do, checkpoints, not even for the whole fight, but each round, throughout the round, resets, things like that. And just stay focused on what I got to do, be ready to adapt. And I got some great coaches and corners in my corner, and just listen to them, and, you know, that's all you could do.
Best of luck on Saturday.
Thank you. Good? Thank you, guys.
Howdy, folks.
Howdy. I've got to say, first of all, that's a pretty fantastic T-shirt right there.
Oh, thank you very much.
And actually, it brings me to the main event. It seems on paper that maybe both you and Gregory could qualify as violent athletes, heavy hitters. Do you look at this fight in the same way?
Well, absolutely, yes. I definitely see a lot of the opponents in the UFC as that, especially in the middleweight division. They're big, and they're not too big to be fast and athletic and stuff like that. So, Gregory is no exception. You know, he's a big guy, exceptionally big, 6'3", and yeah, a big guy. So hits hard. He goes in there, throws down. He has had exciting fights in the UFC. So, but as in all my fights, I plan on going in there and being the bigger fighter. I know I've said this before, and it hasn't really, and I feel like especially my last two fights, it hasn't really been, I haven't held to that. But, I'm always looking to get better, find the mistakes I make, and, fix them.
How do you change that then, right? As you said, the last two fights weren't able to show that. Is that then something you have to, mentally approach it in the fight, or do you just change things in training and go, right, be more aggressive in sparring? How exactly do you try and change that?
Well, for me, it's just understanding what was taking place, what has taken place, that I didn't want from those fights. And assessing where that was coming from, the origin of whatever mistakes I was making, and making those adjustments. You're right. Most of them are I feel like most of them are mental. Most of them were mental for those last couple of fights, and it's definitely going to have a physical effect.
Nice. Do you feel in some ways, right, you've been around, you're the name fighter here, that you're giving, an up-and-coming guy an opportunity here? Do you feel like you're sort of giving Gregory an opportunity to build something off your name?
No, I think he's pretty much earned what he's done. I guess you can consider me the sacrificial lamb in that regard, right? But this is the name of the game. We fight each other. So I don't have any. I try to separate that emotional aspect from what we're doing here. This is a business. We're doing business. So that's just it. And plus, my last two fights were of the same essence, if you will, fighting up-and-comers who are, I can't remember the term that you put. I don't even want to say it again because I didn't like the way it sounded.
Okay.
But same situation again.
For what it's worth, I don't think no matter what fortunes you're in, anyone would ever consider you a sacrificial lamb. I think it's a little bit too dangerous to be going in there. And
Tell that to Gregory.
One thing that is interesting at the moment is your division doesn't take very long for things to change, right? DDP suddenly come out. He's now this dominant champion. Obviously, his Hamzat ahead of him. But outside that, you've got Imavov's had a good win and stuff. But there just seems like there's room for guys to rise the rankings real quick when there's a new champion sort of looking for contenders. Would you agree?
I don't know. I mean, that onus will be put on the guys who are facing off against the contenders, i.e. myself, right? I'm losing the fights against these up-and-comers and opening the door for them. I don't want to say it, but it's not that I've found myself in a gatekeeper sort of position, but kind of smells like it if you're on the outside, you know what I mean? But shit, I'm just analyzing it for you. You know what I mean? You're asking the question and I'm doing some analysis on it. This isn't how I feel. I don't really consider all this shit when I'm thinking about what I'm doing on a daily basis or when I'm matching up with these guys. I'm just getting prepared to go to war with another big up-and-comer.
And last one for me. You feel like it could be a war in there? Do you think that it's just going to be two guys trading big shots, or you think that your experience will outclass this guy?
I don't want to have any wars. I never do. You know what I mean? I want to go in there and have a dominant performance. I almost tripped over the word dominant there. I think I did trip over it. But I want to go in there and have a dominant performance. You know what I mean? And it will look even more dramatic. It'll look even more drastic because he's so imposing. He's so much bigger than me. But I'm just getting in there. I'm just going in there, getting ready to perform against another high-level opponent. That's as simple as I will put it.
What do you think of last week's main event, if you watched it?
That was a championship fight.
Yes, correct.
Right? Yes. What do I think about it? Another one in the books, right? And still, congratulations to both competitors for making it out. Not as concussed as everybody hoped they would to the death. Everybody keeps repeating and throwing it in Sean's face. But, it was what's the word? A scrap as expected. You know what I mean? DDP fought as expected. Sean Strickland fought as expected. And we got ourselves another championship match in the books.
So you saw the fight went basically how you thought it was going to go?
Yeah, I never think a fight is going to go one specific way. This is why I don't like picking fights. I don't bet. I don't gamble. Especially when it comes to mixed martial arts. My love for the fight will never allow me to maintain a level of absolutism. You know what I mean? Unless I'm thinking about myself being the best. But other than that, anything can happen in this sport, especially when you're dealing with people who train on a daily basis. This is all we do. This is all we think about. And this is all you know what I mean? And, I lost track of where I was going, but that's I hope you guys got it.
I did. And, you kind of mentioned, like, to the death. Sean was saying to the death. And a lot of people are coming out and just roasting him and talking about him. And Chell and DC were in here earlier, and they're like, why is this a big thing? Everyone talks, like, everyone tries to sell a fight. What was your, like, what's your kind of thoughts on, Sean talking this big game and then not, I guess showing up in a sense?
I don't really have any thoughts on that. I thought he went in there and competed for 5 rounds in the world title match and came up on the short end of the stick with a broken nose. So, people wanted him to sustain more damage than that. I mean, we live in a sadistic world, right? Where people want to see other people go through some sort of pain and take pleasure out of that. That's what you guys are doing. Don't you guys realize that? No? All right. Enjoy the fight Saturday night.
Is it cool that Eric McConaughey will be fighting the night before you fight?
Absolutely. My guy is going to war for a title of his own. You know what I mean? Not that this is a title for me. It's always for the title. But, yeah, my guy's going to war. I want to be in his corner, help him get ready. He's in my corner helping me get ready. We're going to tag team.
When is Alec Lorenz going to make it to the UFC?
You know what I mean? He keeps doing what he's doing. It won't be too much longer. 2025, the Red Hammer makes an impact, right?
It's the Savage. He's dangerous.
He's very dangerous. He's only getting better, pushing me, helping me getting better. He's been. I'm glad you brought him up because he's been integral for me in this camp and making some adjustments. In all camps, we all have good days and bad days, and in this camp, on one of those bad days, some of his words really helped me overcome it, and he sacrificed himself being a sparring partner of mine, and I think it really helped. And I guess I'll thank him personally on camera now. Thank you, Alec, the Red Hammer Lorenz, the Viking in the house at the MMA lab is going down. Big guys are stomping loudly out of there. So it's going, yeah. Thank you.
Last one for me is, there is Alec, there's Eric, there's Abdul. He's a little smaller, but who is someone else that the fans need to be looking that's coming out of the lab, a prospect that no one knows about?
Oh man, so many guys on the fight team. Now I got to think. That'll take a while. Let me think if I can pull some up right off the top of my head. I have to start with the bigger guys. Brady's been doing good. He'll keep doing good if he gets fights. You know what I mean? His fights keeps falling through at the last minute. Kai's been hammering people. The MMA Lab team. It's hard to put them on. You know what I mean? Follow them on Instagram. You'll see what's going down.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
I know you're going in there and you're training, you're doing these things. You've been doing this for a minute. Is it a matter of when you go into these fight preparations, is it just tweaking what's worked for you, or are you still learning new wrinkles? Are you still learning new things in the game still at this point?
It's always a learning process. This is one big learning process, one long journey. You know what I mean? Yes, adding new things, trying new things, I don't want to say throwing out old things.
Yeah.
Keeping the things that work, of course, absolutely right. Trying to make those better. Just trying to get better at everything, you know.
Is there anything that from your very beginning, you like you said you get rid of the stuff that doesn't work. When you think back to when you started this, was there something that you did in training that now you're like, man, I can't believe I used to do that sort of thing back when I was training, or maybe even just a fight week prep?
No, I've always had good teams around me. Even in Alaska, I had a good team. And after the Alaska, it was always MMA Lab, and MMA Lab is world class. So, no, I've always had a good team around me to help guide me through these processes. And what was the question again?
No, that's pretty much it. You know, if there was something that you don't do anymore that maybe that you
Yeah.
realized at the point wasn't good for you, but it sounds like you've had the right people around you kind of helping shape your career.
Yeah, yes, helping me as I go along. I wouldn't say yes, helping shape my career. I guess you can put it that way.
But what's interesting, I don't know if you got to see any of the guys by the time you got here, but the Ultimate Fighter guys are here as well. So you got guys that are just starting their journey with trying to get into the UFC, and here's someone like yourself that's, been in the game and, has been with the UFC for quite a while. I don't know if you saw any of those guys, and, when you see guys like that or know of those guys, what is something that you would maybe impart to guys that are starting their journey, trying to get in the UFC, that you've learned that if you could tell them to take that moment, what would you say to those guys that are about to enter into the house?
I don't know. Ultimate Fighter is a different experience from what I'm told. So don't make a fool of yourself. That's it. I'm going to leave it at that. Don't make an ass of yourself. You know what I'm saying? Represent yourself to the fullest.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Because it's going to stick with you for the rest of your career. What you do in this house is going to be your first impression. So what kind of first impression do you want the world to see? Do you want them to see a guy who's rambunctious and a clown, no self-discipline, or a guy who's driven, really focused on the sport? You know what I mean? The Khabib, the next coming, or some crap like that. The next coming. I don't know. What weight classes are these?
Yep.
Flyweight and welterweight. So you know what I mean? To each his own. There's no one size fit all in this game. We've seen guys wear their ass on their shoulders and make millions of dollars, right? And we've seen guys come in with the loudest mouth and make nothing, right? And let your actions always speak louder than your words. No more. Those are enough gems for you guys. You can write a book.
Who do you think is going to do a better job of coaching those young fighters, DC or Chael?
I think DC has. I don't know. I think DC is a more active coach. I don't know what Chael does when his non-broadcasting and podcasting time. So I don't know, but DC's pretty busy too.
Yeah.
They're both smart guys. I mean, they're both MMA legends. They're both insane level wrestlers who still love the sport, who still are ingrained in the sport of wrestling. I think those competitors on the show have some good guys to be coaches, to have coaching. I mean, DC I think is a maniac when it comes to winning. I know Chael doesn't like losing,
Yep.
but he can take a loss and make it look good. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
DC does not look good when he's losing. We've seen his cry face, not to I guess to take a joke at him.
Yeah. Well, going back to your fight, and I know you said earlier, you kind of separate the emotions going in a fight week. You try to keep it more in business. Your opponent opposite of you, this is his first main event. Can you remember back to your first main event and what sort of nerves and excitement that happened that fight week? And do you think that plays into anything on the fight week? His very first time signing his face on a poster, all that sort of stuff.
I mean, it might. I don't really know Gregory personally. There's a lot of factors for me to make that assumption. But for my first main event, I remember it vividly because it was glorious.
Yeah.
Copenhagen, Copenhagen, Denmark, which is a beautiful country. They call it the happiest country in the world, and it was really nice when I was there. It was Jack Hermance's, essentially his hometown, his region.
Yep.
You know, everybody, it was kind of like the fight before that when I went to Brazil. But everybody was against me. You know what I mean? Everybody was for Hermance, and I went in there and put him away in the second round. And, you know, I flew first class for the first time on the way back. So, but it was first time flying first class, and that was freaking awesome.
Yeah.
And it was good, man. I guess the things started opening up more after that one.
Yeah. I get the last question. You know, the fight could play out many different ways, but what's your keys to the victory? What needs to happen to make sure that you get your arm raised on Saturday?
Hit him often, hit him hard, no pity-patty shots, no trying to keep him off of me. You know what I mean? Do what I got to do to put this man away. You know what I mean? Again, anyway. So yes, not get hit by him, not find myself in any brawls with him unless he's on chicken legs or something like that. But brawling wouldn't last long. You know what I'm saying? If he's brawling, it doesn't last long. But if I'm brawling, it ain't gonna last long. You guys haven't really seen me brawl in there. Anyway. But yes, hit him often, hit him hard, be faster than him, and don't get hit. Stay moving, stay hard to find, hard to hit, and not just move around and relinquish space against this person. So yeah.
Looking forward to
I'm
it.
already giving you too much.
No, I like it though. I'm looking forward to it. Best of luck on Saturday.